Okay, we are recording and we're back on camera now, and it's been like 2 years since we've done a video version of this podcast, and we'll post this to YouTube. We could have streamed it live, but then there was some extra buttons to click, and I didn't really feel like doing it. So, because we didn't really announce that we can do a podcast live streaming. That's cool, and it seems a lot easier. Technology's fun, and how it's come across all this time, and how it's grown. So that's
Yes.
neat. Yeah. So,
We
anyways,
have the technology.
yeah. So, anyways, up next on this episode of the NerdBrand podcast, we are talking about advertising that has definitely impressed us. So, the last week we talked about Google AI summaries and how they're available in audio format. So hopefully my internet holds up here, and we'll see how the streaming turns out. But they're available in audio format. So instead of reading your search results, you can now listen to them. Now, research has come out. I have to add this because I saw this last night, that AI is not making us more inquisitive, and it's not making us better. It's making us actually, I guess, worse cognitively, because we're not.
I've read that as well. Yeah, you're not using certain factors of your brain. You're only I guess I don't know the specific terminology, but you're only using like the inquiry part of your brain
Yeah,
versus like using the creative part of your brain, if that makes sense.
yeah. It's like it's all like, hey, tell me about this, and doop to doop, listen to it, but then you don't have an engagement where you're able to more accurately like divulge that without
Hmm.
that tool. And so it's almost like some people try to make the comparison to a calculator to back in the day when we just did all the math on.
Yeah,
The only
I
thing
could
is,
see that.
yeah, but the paper never, like, and the calculator never gave you the answer, though. That's the thing. You never told
Right.
you never asked the calculator, or you had to know what to input. So you became more or less an operator of the device. Now it's like there's really no operation to AI. It's just question and answer, like you and me right now.
Right,
Um,
unless you use it for certain, like, I don't know, idea generation, because I feel like there's times like that, or to, like, condense stuff. I use it for doctoring, like, it's
yeah.
never a replacement tool, it's a resource is what I have always saw it as.
Oh, you go down the WebMD hole? Is that what you do? Like,
Mm-mm. No, not that. I don't know, that's just my philosophy that I've accrued over the past couple of years when it's been, at our exposure.
okay. I was just like, wait, don't do that, Michaela. Don't WebMD. You'll have cancer every time.
Mhm. No, I'm not becoming a hypochondriac, I promise. There's only one room for one person in my life that has that.
Yeah, yeah, you always leave that one thing to them. It's like, "No, you own that. That's fine. I can't do the stress."
Mhm.
So, anyways, so let's talk about some brands. We're gonna talk about Charmin, Liberty Mutual, and the US Army. So, Charmin, starting with that, I feel like they're amazing because talking about poop wasn't a thing. Like, it always has been a thing with guys, but
Yeah.
let's think about Star Trek, like 1950s
Mhm.
or 60s when the show came when that
60s.
yeah, so
60s, I think, right?
predates both of us, by far, be more or less my parents. I don't even know if it'd be your mom,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, my parents were born in the, early '60s, so yeah.
okay, so anyways, no bathroom. Like, that ship all the way up to Next Generation in the '90s, and now it's like, "Where's the bathroom?" Nobody's ever really, I recall, said, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom." Like, they didn't introduce a shower until the motion picture. And
Hmm.
so when the motion picture came out, then you saw a shower, and then they explained it was like some kinda hypersonic. I don't know, hypersonic, I don't know why I said that. It's sort of like a, I don't know, sound type shower to generate the stuff to wash yourself. Anyways, go watch the motion picture. If you do,
Makes me think of, Psycho.
yeah. Well, if you do go
I
watch
don't know.
that, it's got a vibe to well, the character in there had the same haircut as that because they did the lady that was the Vulcan on that show. I think no, she wasn't a Vulcan, she was something else. She was bald-headed, actually. Anyways, if you wanna watch the motion pictures of Star Trek out there, be warmed and filled and on your way and do so because 'cause you'll just be bored, but lots of
Mhm.
shots of the ship. So didn't have a bathroom. Then they put out schematics, because nerds like to know, like, where is things actually at on a ship like that? And the schematics come out and it's like, oh, there's like one bathroom and they stuck it over in a corner. And I'm just like, really? You had to like you got a whole disc and you got to put it way over there. It's like, imagine I got to go to like down 3 decks and then go over like so many yards and just to go pee. So,
That's funny.
but Charmin comes out and they do what they do. And it's like, oh, it's cool again. So it's not
Mhm.
a problem. So I want to bring up their YouTube page. So yeah, I mean, they literally we all know everybody goes, why not enjoy the go? I mean, what where have you seen this in advertising in years? And they've done this really well where they have made advertising about pooping a thing and, you
Mhm.
know, getting really down to like without showing somebody doing the act and cleanup.
Right.
They
Not
even went
wiping butt.
right. They've even gone they've even gone that far. I mean, you got a bear, like, riding a toilet. I mean, this doesn't get
Mhm.
it's just funny to me.
Mhm.
And now we all know they're bears. So, what's the joke?
Oh, man. I didn't even connect those dots until just now. That's funny.
Yeah. So, you got a
God.
bear even talking about little, like, stuff on the bum when you wipe and it didn't come all the way off. I know everybody knows what I'm talking about because,
Oh gosh, that makes me think of my dad. He used to it was the, Eddie Murphy joke that he would recite. Oh, man. Funny. Fun stuff.
yeah. But this is a company that is like they just said, you know what, we're not even going to lean into it. We are going to own it. And then, they found ways to advertise like how it's perforated now and how that avoids tearing when you tear off something. And I think a lot of people they wad and then I'm like, it's made to fold so you can, I don't know.
I
People
don't know,
are new.
everyone's got a method, and it's kinda like how you fold laundry. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
"That's the way to do it," and I'm like, "I really who's to say?"
Yeah, yeah. It's just yeah, yeah. But you never heard Kirk say, "Give the command to Spock." Say, "You have the con because I gotta go to the bathroom." And so yeah, it's all these years later, and you have a brand here that is, you know, this is their thing, and they do short videos on it. Um, I don't know. I don't think it's YouTube's attempt to try to deal with TikTok, but they cut their videos to where they could be used in these shorts. And as far as I know, TikTok is still on. Today was actually the cutoff day for it, believe it or not. So it
Mhm.
was extended. So we still have TikTok as of June 20th. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, if our listeners out there are interested in Charmin, go to youtube.com/Charmin and subscribe and to their stuff. And I don't know, enjoy the Bears talking about the go. So there's that. Um, what's your thoughts about this one about Liberty Mutual? Because I know you've seen
I
those.
just their jingle, I don't know, it has given me a certain level of fatigue, like, can we change? Can we pivot already? Because I feel like the Limu and this is just me, just my opinion only. Uh, the Limu Emu, I feel like, has become a little exhausted, and I don't know if you feel the same way. I don't know. But I
Yeah,
feel like certain things like that have become iconic for certain viewers. It's kinda like the Geico ads and how they but I
right.
like how versatile Geico goes, like, they had the caveman and then they had the Geico gecko, like, it's certain little features like that, and they use them interchangeably. I feel like Limu Emu, every time I hear the jingle, I'm just like, "God," and I disassociate.
Yeah, the latest one is the golf one where they're out golfing and they got a whole series of those like we have on our screen here if you're watching us on YouTube or on video. But it's like, yeah, there's the Limu Emu. So obviously Liberty Mutual, Limu. You got Limu there, and that's literally where I believe the name comes from. So
Mhm.
I would imagine they were sitting in a marketing meeting and were like, "All right, what okay, well, that's neat. What rhymes with Limu?" You know? And, "Oh, an emu does? Oh, okay." You know, 'cause it's both of these brands are it's very mascot driven, and,
Yes.
yeah, so,
And
you know.
most people probably wouldn't even know what an emu was, like, "Oh, what's that ostrich doing on the screen there?"
Right.
But
Well, you have to
it's
be fair. I would mistake it for one. I wouldn't know the difference,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's a yeah, it's definitely a brand that, and then have you seen the ones with the baby? And it took me a while to
Oh.
figure this one out, like, I they were doing a lot of these, and they call them truth tellers. I don't know why they're called truth tellers, so if anybody out there knows, I'd like to know why they're called truth tellers, but
Oh, 'cause it's the fella that's, like, the other I think that's kind of like back to my point with Geico and how they use, like, different interchangeable focus points within their ads. I think this is the other one where it's the guy that's wearing the leather jacket, and he, like, drops these truth bombs to people who are just sitting on that bench there.
oh, so he's a character.
That's
So he's actually a character
yes.
or
Mhm.
a
Kinda like
person.
a cameo. Yeah, like
Okay.
a commercial cameo, if you will.
Okay, now I understand. See, this is
Mhm.
what happens when you're over the age of 45. You see this stuff and you're like, "I have no idea why is this guy in there and why is this a thing?" And you just explained it. So thank you,
Mhm.
Michaela. Now I get
You're
it.
welcome.
Okay, now
If it weren't for YouTube TV ads, I probably wouldn't know anything because I use Spotify. I dodge ads. I know I'm bad, you know, I work for an ad agency and I skip all the ads. I'm an impatient girl.
well, the thing
Um,
is, yeah, but you're our project manager. You're not like Mitch, a creative director, or
mhm.
we yeah, you can get away with that and be like, I don't know, I just make sure the projects get done on time. Yeah, whatever you wanna
Right.
say, you know? By the way, for the record, for everybody out there, she does way more than that, but still, um, but yeah, that makes sense now, and, they do the Biberty thing to get I don't know what their what was the original, like, where that came from, I don't know. I would assume it's because, babies talk cute, so Biberty instead of Liberty. Maybe they have
Mhm.
trouble with the L's and the B's, I guess.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, that's been their thing. It's worked out pretty well. I don't know how long it's been going. Their channel, they've got tons and tons of videos. I mean, at least on the Limu Emu Doug and the Doug is funny, but
Mhm.
um,
And
I,
Doug.
yeah, and Doug. I mean, there's just certain names and words that are humorous. Like stand-up comedians will say this, like Aaron, Doug, Steve. Maybe not Aaron, but still, it
AA
definitely.
Ron.
Yeah, the A it's because of that, the AA run is why I remember
Yes.
Doug Aaron. But yeah, Steve for sure. Steve is a funny name. It's like, "Thanks, Steve," and everybody will laugh
Mhm.
and giggle.
You
Um,
done messed up, AA Ron.
yeah, yeah, "You done messed up, AA Ron." That's like one of
I
the
love
best.
Keegan-Michael Key, sorry, I just had to.
But you've noticed, like, they're very specific about their banners. 2
Mhm.
things I wanna notice, especially for our video viewers. Notice where the icons are in the banners. Look at how centralized they are between the 2. So you've got a nice, adaptive thing where you've got the avatar and then you've got the banner at the top of the channel. And for both of them, I mean, very well done, very well laid out. So props to them for that. And of course, I'm viewing on a desktop, so mobile would probably look. Let's see if I can pull off a mobile view.
Ah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it kind of does the job. I don't think
Just kinda cinches everything up a little bit.
yeah, I'm not sure that that's actually what, it looks like on an iPhone, but, we're gonna say that, yeah, we'll just say like, "Okay, you get a pass." But anyways, those are those 2 brands. Just out of curiosity, not to put you on the spot, not to make you kinda have to think or hard or anything, but you got a brand that you like? I can just Google it right now.
Well, we know, like, what makes me not go like Charmin, but, what makes me go, like, energy-wise, Celsius and Alani, I'm a big advocate for some energy drink brands.
Yeah, let's
Um,
let's see. I'm probably gonna butcher the spelling. There it is.
let's see what they got.
Mhm. So, Alani was purchased not too long ago, for
5
quite
Celsius. Mhm.
yeah, for a lot of money. Yeah, by Celsius. And Celsius' story of their branding, their product, and what it looks like is absolutely amazing because
Oh, yeah.
uh, they put that out there and they're like, "Look, it's got to look this way, otherwise
Mhm.
it didn't sell." Um,
Mhm.
and so it's a
I'll never
great.
forget. Oh, I'm sorry. Finish your point.
Oh,
I'm
you're okay.
sorry.
You're okay.
Um, I was walking around. I was in Chicago. What was it? Yeah, it was in the winter time. It was January, and it was in Millennium Park. We were just waiting. We were walking around because we were waiting for our brunch spot to open up a spot for us. So we
Uh-huh.
put our name in, and we were waiting. We were walking around Millennium Park, and like right off on one of the shoulders, there was a Celsius car, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I wonder what they're doing." They're just handing out random Celsius, and I'm like, you know what? That's such a great way to put your name out there because I didn't know Lonnie did something similar at like a fitness event that I went to a couple of years back where, they were just handing out free samples. And I don't know. I have a certain uh passion for caffeine because it just, gives me the energy I need, makes me the person I want to be for the day. So, exactly, yeah, you can laugh at it.
So it's okay.
But but yeah, like that I thought, that's a great way to, sample the product, make
Yeah, it
people brand
doesn't.
loyal.
This is something I'm noticing, like, as I'm going through, I mean, there doesn't seem to be a YouTube page, and they are running an ad, here
Hmm.
sponsored at the top, so, if anybody out there wants to contact us about doing this kinda stuff, yeah, this is what we do. Because always people always like, "What do you do?" It's like, "This." It's
Mhm.
always good to show video on these things to be like, "Yeah, that right there," and we just have to shoot the video, which is what we do, and therefore, on and on and on the madness goes, but it takes you to, D2C, and, this drink was bottled in Pleasure Ridge Park, Louisville, Kentucky.
Whoop, whoop.
Um, yep, so but yeah, I think it was $4,000,000,000 was the acquisition for it.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's got a heck of a story, in regards to that.
Mhm.
Um, I wanna get it to the US Army, not because of the 250th anniversary or the recent parade. It's what so, essentially, the parade and all that stuff, it's all marketing. The whole thing is marketing, even though I know a lot of the Trump stuff was around it, but 45,000,000, that's the marketing for that. So, let's talk about the marketing budget of last year, though, and how that worked out. Cause oh my word, everybody was so upset about the 45,000,000 for the parade. Let's talk about the 100,000,000 last year spent for recruiting and how that didn't work out. And, this information and this story, I have to give credit. It's brought to you by Fat Electrician because I watch his show a lot and love it. So this is where I'm getting some of the information. He kinda does a full breakdown on one of his videos on YouTube, so I recommend checking him out. But, the United States Army is always like any other corps, and, you got your brother who's in the service. What branch is he in?
He's in Air Force and my dad was in, Navy.
Yeah, so they don't like Army.
No, they really don't. They love to jab at each other, Chair Force for my brother and then Squid for my dad.
Air Force. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Yeah, you go into
Mhm.
that.
Not
Yeah,
to offend any, people who are serving, but, just some familiar jabbing that it always happens, at every Thanksgiving, Christmas,
well, you never know, though. Hey, they're all those jobs are important. We'll say that.
Mhm.
Like we
Oh,
would know.
yes.
Well, you would know more than me. I don't have any family in there. But, anyways, 100,000,000 was used. So let's talk about the first 11,000,000. Did you read this?
I did not.
Yeah, so the first 11,000,000 was given to Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and he had to do 5 Facebook no, no, 5 Instagram posts, and that was it. He had to promote the Army, 5 Instagram posts, whatever that was, reels, I don't know. It was kind of an influencer campaign. That was 5,000,000 out of the 11. The remaining 6,000,000 was given to, oh gosh, what's it called? It's not UFC, UFL? It's sort of like an amalgamation between the XFL and some other league, and he bought it and he owned UFL. And
Hmm.
so there was that, spent. And so he only did 2 Facebook posts. He only did 2 Instagram posts. He didn't do the full 5. He just did the 2. So he owes 3 as far as I know. This is to date.
Mhm.
Um, and the campaign short story is that it generated a negative 38 results. How do you do that? Well, basically, when you sign up or get people to enlist, then they go through a qualification. Okay, these people actually can be qualified candidates. They're still not taking the oath. They're still not taking the oath. They still aren't in, you
Mhm.
know? So they're in their, I guess you could call it sales funnel, but they're not through it, right?
Right,
So
because when you do the oath, that's literally, that's like the closing of the sale. Because then, say goodbye to your family, you hop on a plane, and then you're off to boot camp is
right,
essentially how that all goes. But yeah, like the stepping stones for that is, you of course engage interest in a recruiter, and then, if you haven't already taken an ASVAB, which, generates, it's like an SAT but military. Think of like a military SAT, but it categorizes, your skills and attributes that can be utilized in whichever branch that you go in. So my brother, he took the ASVAB, and he, is more, he's, upon taking that is whenever that categorized him to, oh, work in maintenance. You're going to work on the parachutes and all of the flight equipment, make sure it's all up to par. So that way, paratroopers, pilots, they're ready to go in case they have to deploy from their plane or anything like that. Paratroopers always need parachutes from jumping out of the plane. So make sure that those bad boys deploy is what my brother does. So once you have the ASVAB, and then as far as like the middle funnel of it all, I'm not sure. But then, you eventually get to the oath, and that's when, your whole journey begins.
yeah, yeah. So by the time they got to that process, they actually had 38 people drop out. There was like it
Oh
wasn't
my
even
gosh.
it wasn't 0, it was negative 38. They lost people that enlisted from this.
That's wild.
Now, we haven't even talked about the other 88 million, right? That was a 100 million campaign. That was just 11 million. So let's talk about the 88. Where did it go and what did it generate? What do you think? What do you think it generated? 88 million. By the way, it was NASCAR. Dale Earnhardt's car was completely covered and they ran that for the thing. So it was all the NASCAR. Woo, guys. What do you think that campaign generated in enlistments and or leads and then qualified candidates?
Oh man, I couldn't tell you. With how much the other one bombed, I'm kind of afraid to give out a number.
Just take a guess. Let's just see.
uh,
It'll be fun.
I'll say like 500.
That's what a lot of people think. It actually generated 24,800 leads.
Oh, okay. Well, better than the other
But
one.
there's a big but.
Oh God.
Only 20 of them were qualified.
Oh boy.
20. 20. Um, and so how many do you think out of that were recruited?
I would want to say 5 to 10.
That is so nice of you, but 0.
No.
It's complete goose egg.
Dang. How do you not get qualified? Because I feel like as long as you're a high school graduate, you do the ASVAB, and
I
you're not a criminal, or have any not criminal, but like, any
chronic
rap,
problem. Yeah.
yeah, chronic problems, you don't have a rap sheet, you don't like all of the good things. I don't know.
Yeah, I just as soon as I hear any sort of ad campaign that's sponsored by a celebrity or anything like that, I mean, some work, but I just don't think we're in that age anymore where it's a good idea to grab a celebrity name and use that as a, your mascot, if you will.
Mhm.
I
Like a
mean,
cameo, yeah.
right,
I don't
yeah,
know, some cameos, it's kinda like it's like what we suggest for our clients, like, not everyone needs, a TikTok page, it's relevant to your brand, and I feel like some brands, divert to cameos, and I'm like, "Well, does it make sense, or are you just trying to be like, 'Oh, look at me, buy the
yeah,
thing?'"
yeah, yeah.
Um
So, if it's a brand and it's looking for an avatar, I mean, obviously the US Army doesn't need an avatar. I mean, they got a pretty solid brand and presence and their strategy now is very, very different. Obviously, I think that it's a lot better in my opinion, because they're using the actual the war fighters. They're actually showing here's the hardware. I call it hardware porn. It was a thing in the 80s and 90s with Knight Rider and Airwolf and all of that. You have a attack helicopter, you have a car, you like there's all this like those kinds of shows on television don't really exist. I just call it hardware porn because that's just the way television shows in the 80s were. If you haven't watched any of those, I recommend you go back and dive into that, especially Airwolf. Airwolf probably didn't age very well, but it's pretty neat. I would like for them to try to maybe bring that back. That'd be interesting. But anyways, at the end of the day, yeah, they're showing the hardware and capabilities and stuff. And so it's sort of not as a blind, thing anymore when it comes to like, well, what am I stepping into more? So it's more transparent in that way.
Mhm.
But yeah, Charmin has got some cartoon CGI bears wiping their butts and you got a bird over in Liberty Mutual. So it's like, there's a lot of things you can do. Maybe you don't need to do any of that.
Mhm. I don't know. It's just like it's finding something that makes a little bit sense, but also it's engaging, and it's all about how your metrics are. If it's something that really takes off and you find the success in it, then keep doing that until people get tired of it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, it's never a thing that's going to be a thing forever. I mean,
Right.
Coca-Cola, they bring out their bears like, once a year.
Christmas
Now.
time, the puffins. I love the puffins.
Yeah. So it just you got to know your brand and you got to know your audience. And so at NerdBrand, that's what we do. You sit and consult with you, try to figure that out. It's a lot of working meetings that we are charging for, but that consulting phase is invaluable before you start writing a social post or start shooting a video or put a website up. I mean, we do all of those things, but at the end of the day, it's like, what do we want to put on that that actually resonates with the audience that makes them want to convert or call you to work with you? Because you can have a
Mhm.
logo and a sign and a company and a car or whatever. That doesn't mean you're going to get customers. That's just not how it works. And so our job is to sort of find that thing that makes people want to like remember you. And so if you're sitting around, you're trying to figure out, well, what is that thing? Well, it's like what we've been saying. It's like our job is to help you figure out that one thing that you're just not too sure about. So just like if you go to our website at nerdbrandagency.com, you'll find all that messaging there. Our job is to help you figure out stuff. I mean, there's a certain something you're just trying to figure out and you're trying to put a name on it. You're trying to like that's our job. So you can hire us for that.
Mhm.
Get that off your plate so that stress goes away so you're not just like feeling like you're wandering around. So there's our ad for the show.
Mhm.
Anyways, special announcements are we're going to try to keep doing these shows more video wise like this, and we're going to start doing some more live streaming. So I haven't decided on Facebook or YouTube, and also it matters on quality of the internet connection
Right.
for that because this is very dependent upon that, and I may have to upgrade mine, or we may have to find a solution for that. But it is nice to kind of get back on video, and we have the equipment. We just finding a space. It's still a problem.
Right.
I am upgrading the studio here at my house. For those watching, that's where I'm at. I have 2 chairs coming, 2 brand new chairs, comfy ones, and I'm gonna buy a table, and, I'm gonna start outfitting this place, and so we'll be able to do these things in person and have a couple cameras on us and kinda go down that route. But, anyways, if you like this episode, go to nerdbrandagency.com/podcast, like, subscribe, sign up for newsletters. We are doing that if you wanna know what topics are, and talk to us. I mean, just hit us up on social media. Those of you that were wondering, like, "Where's Michaela?" There she is. Um,
Hi.
yeah.
I'm here.
Mitch is out. He is with family right now. And we are, wrapping up a pretty solid week in a good way. So I'm pretty excited. And I don't know, you got any announcements or anything you want to share with anybody?
Nope, just grinding away.
Just chilling? Yeah,
Just
yeah,
chilling and grinding away.
yeah. That's something that Michaela, she likes to do. She likes to do the work. So yeah, because your role was account manager and other places, and now you're an inside cat, I guess, is the way to say it.
Yes.
I don't know.
Meow. Um, yes, but yeah, the project management suits me a lot better. I've always been an organized nut and just suits me.
Yeah, so, if you guys got a project out there, this is who you're gonna interact with, as well as me and Mitch, of course, but, this is who's gonna be got their hands on your heart during the operation on the table, I guess, but it's not to intimidate you, Michaela, just, it is
I
an
mean, I
important.
was never really good at operations, so we'll see
Yeah,
about
it's
that. Damn it.
For those that remember that. Anyways, we thank everybody for listening and tuning in, and we will see you next week. And remember, keep your nerd brand strong.